Namaste, everyone. Sometimes in life you hear something or see something and it just really sets you off. And since I've started this journey on social media and been exposed to some of the things that are out there and some of the things that are being said about Hinduism, I've found that nothing surprises me anymore. There is no depths to where people will go and some of the things that they'll say. Many of you might be familiar with this whole situation with Baby Skello in Guyana and the absolutely abhorrent things that he said about Lakshmi Mata. Lakshmi is one of the most revered figures in Sanatan Dharma. She represents something that is so pure and so auspicious that it makes it even more unfathomable that someone could say some of the things that was said by this person. And it honestly sparked something in me, not just as a Hindu, not as a pundit, but as a man, as a human being. What he said was so vile, so ignorant, and just utterly disgraceful. It's a slap in the face to every Hindu, and it's a deeper insult to the dignity of all women, honestly. And thankfully, there have been so many people that have spoken up and have called for action. And oftentimes, we see Hindus being so silent and so afraid to speak up or so afraid to ruffle feathers or stand up for their own culture. And I see that the government have made in Guyana has made some statements as well, which is good. But what I also saw yesterday were some other videos that were put out, and specifically an apology video that he made, where he talked about it wasn't his intention to offend anyone. Honestly, we don't care about your intention. This we don't care what you intended to do. This is about your action. It's about the words that left your mouth. We care about the fact that a video was posted of something so crude and offensive that degraded a sacred symbol in the hearts of so many. So, no, you don't get to hide behind, I didn't mean to offend. But here's the truth: the impact matters more than your excuses. Now, when I saw the first video, it made me angry. As a practitioner of Dharma and someone who strongly believes and advocates for Dharma, I was absolutely ready to respond and just go in on a response hard. But then, as I was prepping for my video response yesterday, my wife, who truly has a heart of gold, heard me prepping for my response. And she came in and we started a conversation. And she said that you shouldn't let your anger make you forget who you are. And she was right. Because what I saw in that video, it wasn't just disrespect. It was ignorance, it was immaturity, it was hate. Honestly, it was a scream for attention, but it was also a product of a society that has taught far too many men to see women as not beings of divinity, but as objects for entertainment. So I'm by no means making any excuses for this person. I don't know who he is. And what was demonstrated in that video was clearly hateful, disrespectful, ignorant, immature. It was also Hinduphobic and possibly had some elements of racism. So today, I'm choosing not to match that energy, but hopefully to address something far greater than just one person. Because I'm not a product of that environment. I was raised by Dharma. And today, guided by something deeper, today guided by my wife. I'm not here to excuse what was said because I don't. You don't get to toss filth into the world and then hide behind, I didn't mean it. Because when you upload it, when you caption it, and double down on it, it's not an accident, it's a choice. But what this whole situation has revealed is something deeper. And honestly, it's possibly even more painful. Because what this man represents isn't just individual ignorance, it's a symptom of something deeper. He is a product of a society that has failed to teach respect, a society where too many men grow up seeing women as bodies, not beings, as sexual conquests, not sacred reflections of divinity. It's shown just how disconnected too many men are from the sacred. How generation after generation has been raised to see women not as beings of dignity and depth, but as simply bodies, as objects, as tools of attention, conquest, and even jokes. And that's heartbreaking because a man like this, he cannot possibly comprehend the grace, the warmth, power, and divine radiance of Lakshmi Mata. He doesn't have the capacity to recognize what she represents because he's never been taught how to truly respect a woman. He is the product of an environment that has failed to educate him spiritually, morally, and culturally. And he's not alone, sad to say. You know, the sad thing is that there are some people out there, some young people, who look at that video, they think it's funny, or they agree with it, they see nothing wrong with it. Some people might even be from our own community, some people might even be Hindu. Some of these young people, they want the approval of their peers. But let me tell you, nothing about that is funny. That is not strength, that is weakness at the highest extent. It's important for accountability and justice to be brought for this one person. But in hopes of posting this video, I hope we can address the much bigger issue at hand so that this doesn't happen again. And for other young men who grow up in this society can learn and can avoid the same pitfall that this individual undertook. But you know, then I saw something else, a second video, one that shows that this wasn't just about clout. It wasn't just about gaining attention or views or likes. It was about conditioning. Because in this clip, his own father, an older man, a man who clearly has had influence in his life, was saying the same or even worse things, mocking Hinduism, spewing racist rhetoric, and suddenly I saw it. This man, this so called rapper, wasn't just misinformed, he's performing for the approval of a father figure drenched in hatred. He is inheriting ignorance, trying to gain love through loyalty to bigotry. Because the real tragedy here isn't just what was said, it's the world that this man was shaped in. A world where racism and religious hate still festers beneath the surface in Guyana. A country with a long, painful history of division between races, between communities. And instead of breaking that cycle, this family is passing it down. But I refuse to let that define me, and you shouldn't either. Because we were raised differently. We walk a different path. Because what I saw in that video wasn't strength, it was fear. Fear of disappointing a father, fear of being seen as weak, fear of acknowledging truth that doesn't align with hate. But the truth is this: Dharma is not the enemy. Dharma is the path out of pain. It's the path back to yourself, beyond trauma, beyond division. So that's why we should not fight fire with filth. Because Dharma doesn't scream, Dharma shines. And here's the truth: the karmic dice have already been cast. Not by me, not by anyone in this Hindu community, not by anyone who is angry about what has been said, but by the laws of the universe that respond not to hype, but to intention, to vibration, and consequence. So to Baby Skello, you may think that this is just a controversy that will pass, but I assure you that the universe keeps receipts. And when you disrespect the sacred, you invite lessons that don't arrive with warnings. That being said, if there is even the smallest part of you that is capable of reflection, this could be your opportunity. Dharma is a path out of pain. It's a path back to yourself, beyond trauma, beyond division. This could be your opportunity. This could be anyone's opportunity who might be feeling this. Not for damage control, not to save face, but to actually grow. To use this moment not to justify or explain, but to begin a journey. Because right now, you don't know what Lakshmi Mata is. You can't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have ever uttered what you did. But if you're brave enough, humble enough, this could be your path toward discovering something greater than yourself. And maybe you're thinking, Dharma isn't for me, Hinduism isn't for me, because I'm black, I wasn't raised with this. But let me say this from my heart: Dharma doesn't care about your background, it cares about your becoming. Sanatana Dharma means eternal truth. It is not bound by birth, it is not exclusive to one race or one nation. It is a path of consciousness, of character, of awakening. And that path is open for anyone. It's open for anyone who's willing to walk towards it. So to everyone watching, speak up, but don't share the filth. Don't let outrage become amplification. Continue to speak up for Dharma. Continue to use your voice. And let's all continue on this path to bring light into this world, to change the perception and the perspectives that have been allowed to stand for far too long. Most of all, to educate our boys. Raise a generation that reveres, not ridicules, that feminine divine. This isn't about one man, it's about a culture. And either we change it or we repeat it. So no, this isn't vengeance, this is a mirror. And I hope that he has the courage to look into it. So this is something that we have to address in this generation so that we can avoid it happening again and again. Because if we continue on this path, then there will be more horrible, horrendous things that will be said. We have to use these opportunities as ways to learn, to help our boys, to help everyone that needs it, to help steer those who need the light in their lives, to be free from the hate, from the pain, from the fear that causes these things to be said, and for people to feel this way. And most importantly, we have to educate. The education aspect of this is the most important. Lakshmi Mata is beyond just a figure, just a form. She is a personification of grace, of inner wealth, of divine femininity. She is everything this world needs more of. And she is also forgiving. So this isn't just about one man. This is about a culture. And we either change it or we repeat it until the next person comes that says the next abhorrent thing. So, no, this isn't vengeance. This is a mirror. And I hope that he has the courage to look into it. But also, I hope that we all have the courage to look into our own mirrors. Because when you mock light, you're only casting a shadow on yourself. Namaste.